This new race politics of the left, it's not just Australians now pushing back against this new racism. In Britain, fascinating development. Sir Trevor Phillips, I've admired him for years, used to be the chairman of Britain's Equality and Human Rights Commission. Now is lashed out at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle for pushing their dodgy claims of racism against the royal family in the media. Now, what he said is so good, I want to read out some of it. He says, they could have been a beacon of discovery and reconciliation. Instead, they completely squandered a golden opportunity to show everyone what this country is really like in matters of race, a country where no one disturbs themselves about a marriage across the lines of race and ethnicity. But they, Harry and Meghan Markle, constructed this completely ridiculous and unpleasant story about how maltreated they were, which frankly no one believes. No one cared about Meghan's race. They could have made things different for millions of people and they chose not to. That's unforgivable. Joining me from London is broadcaster and columnist Esther Kraku. I'm just wondering, Trevor Phillips' criticism of Meghan Markle and Harry, is he right?
I think so. I think he's absolutely spot on. And I really enjoyed reading that piece. I made the point that, you know, people really don't care about people's race in the UK, particularly in London, which is probably one of the most diverse cities in the world. I think what's really sad is they could have been a beacon for change. It was really refreshing to have someone like Meghan Markle, who is articulate, who is a woman of mixed racial heritage in the royal family. And really squandered that opportunity because it had to be her way or the highway. And I think one of the points that Trevor made, which was the most poignant, was the fact that, you know, this is the anniversary of, well, last week was the anniversary of you know, the first Windrush ship coming to the UK. And he's just, you know, he was reflecting on how much progress we've made in this country with regards to race relations and social divisions. And to have someone like that in the royal family who could have embodied that, to then squander it in such a careless and selfish manner is really disappointing.
But look, you were born in Ghana before settling in Britain. Surely you've come across some racism there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are racist individuals everywhere, right? But to say that Britain is a racist country is categorically incorrect. I mean, Trevor made the point in his piece that, you know, actually Britain is the best place to live for ethnic minorities in the whole of Europe, and I suspect in most parts of the world as well. Probably arguably only second only to Canada, which is also a very ethnically diverse country. So I think this idea that Meghan and Harry tried to paint, that they face so much racism in the royal family and there's something inherently really racist about the British media, for instance, is just a complete fallacy. And people really took offence to that.
Well, what do you think they should have done, Harry and Meghan Markle?
To be perfectly honest, I think they should have stayed in the institution a bit longer and actually give their dues, right? They were in the royal family for only a couple of years. They really didn't have any time to make a name for themselves. They didn't really champion any causes that we can all remember. And they really wanted it their way and their way immediately. And I make the point that, you know, Kate Middleton dated Prince William for a decade before she entered into the institution. She really understood what she was getting into. She was really prepared. Unfortunately, Meghan didn't have that amount of time, so she really had to ingratiate herself in a way that is almost, you know, being completely selfless, because you don't have the same leeway or the same time that Kate Middleton has. But the reality is the British people welcomed her with open arms, were very excited for her to join the royal family, and unfortunately she didn't make the most of that opportunity, and now she's having to sell stories to Hollywood, which is becoming increasingly delusional with that pair anyway.